Hello, everybody, and we are live with day 10. So it's Sunday here in Australia at the moment in Brisbane, so welcome. Today my daughter picked a bright yellow dress, so I actually then changed my painting at the back. Hello, Ando, how are you? And good morning. So today I'm actually going to talk. Hello, Susanna, how are you? Welcome. For everybody dialing in, can you let me know how you're feeling from 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, how you're feeling today and why you think you're feeling that way? Is it because you slept really well? Or you woke up early, you did some exercise, you've done some meditation, I don't know, you've had your favorite coffee already, whatever that might be, all right? Hello, good morning, Catherine, how are you? You look amazing. Oh, thank you. Well, my daughter picked, this has been a really good exercise because my daughter, as you know, is the one that has been choosing my outfits. So now I actually know which dresses I've been fitting in so far. So good in all of them. But there's been dresses I haven't worn in quite some time because some of them are from my corporate world or corporate days. Hello. Oh, and are you feeling 49 out of 10 or 4.9 out of 10? I don't get it. And why do you think you're feeling that? Are you here in Brizzy or you'd be near the ocean regardless? Have you gone down to check out the sunrise or sunset or the ocean at all? Okay, so today I am going to share with you a really special story, to be quite honest. One that I can't even believe it sort of happened and how it all happened. Your age, 49. Oh, is that how you're feeling, 49 years old? Well, you're knocking on 50, Ando. So today we're actually going to talk about growth versus fixed mindset. So let me know downstairs, like just by the comments, if you've ever heard of this terminology, because it is something that is so important. And to be quite honest, I'm going to tell you a story about how I actually realized and proved to myself and and to others, I guess, and even to my daughter, that growth mindset is something that we can develop and is something that is so important. So have you heard about growth mindset? Have you heard about fixed mindset? Do you really understand the difference? So this is something that I actually have to say that I talk about quite a lot, meaning not only to myself, but also, sorry, the phone's sort of slipping and I'm live, so I don't want it to go pushed. I do a lot of talks in breakfast, during lunches, like network events and small and large businesses, or their quarterly meeting, monthly meeting, annual meeting. And this is one of the topics I actually talk about. Hello, Kimon. Lovely to have you today. So on a scale of 1 to 10, guys, remember, please let me know how you're feeling. Catherine, you haven't told me. Susanna, 9 out of 10. I'm feeling grateful. Yes, I'm feeling very grateful. Hello, Jen. Good morning. Thank you for dialing in. So let's talk about growth mindset and fixed mindset. So does anybody actually know what mindset is? Because that's let's take a step back. And before we actually get to growth and fixed mindset, let's talk about mindset. So mindset, I believe and truly believe, is where everything really starts in life. Yeah. Whenever a challenge is thrown at you, whenever anything is thrown at you, guess what? You decide before even doing it if you're going to do it or not. Yeah? Whatever happens inside here, so remember it, these 27 days that I'm going live, it's all around going inside when we can't go outside. And the idea is that you guys, that I not only share some, what I find useful information, and that I use a lot with my clients and that has helped them. But it's also to inspire you guys to actually start taking action in making changes in your life. It's really in the implementation where we make the changes, right? And in the speed of implementation. So let's talk. Hello, Catherine. Good morning. How are you? Hello, Anne. Lovely to have you here. So we're talking about mindset. So mindset, really, everything starts with mindset, right? So it really is the way how we look. It's like our outlook in life. Yeah, how we see ourselves and how we see the world around us. And it really determines our behavior and our mental attitude. And I can't emphasize how important mindset or that attitude, mental attitude is, because you know what? Attitude, you just can't buy. You can't actually, when you're hiring someone, I highly recommend that you hire on attitude, because you can teach people how to do a step-by-step process, but to teach them attitude, it's just a little bit too hard, right? You can't teach them, okay, can you get out of bed and really think positively and see things from a different perspective? It just doesn't happen. So guys, from 1 to 10, how are you feeling today and why you think you're feeling that way? Jen is feeling 10. Fantastic. Woke up early. You had a good sleep, Skyped with family last night, so grateful to connect with loved ones. Oh, it's so important. Oh, look, and you put yellow love heart, which, it sort of matches the theme today. So we've identified really what sort of mindset is, right? So I really want you to think about this saying from Henry Ford, and is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because you're really the one that's deciding whether you can do something or not. Someone asks you, can you jump that? And you say, oh, no way. Are you sure? Have you given it a go? You might not be able to do it straight away. Sure, things need to be, you need to train for things. But, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So I don't want you to sort of trip yourself before even starting. Sorry, I don't know. That's sort of slipping a little bit. Lucas, how are you? Where are you logging in from, Medellin? How are you? All right, so we're talking about mindset, and I'm going to tell you a great story at the end of it, because that's how I really proved to myself that growth mindset works. So if you haven't heard of the terminology growth mindset, I highly, highly recommend, and this is what I'm going to base my talk about today, on this book from Carol Dweck. I totally understand that you guys are probably seeing it the other way around. I don't know why. It sort of flips things around in this whole life. But it's called Mindset, the Psychology of Success, and it's by Dr. Carol Dweck. And if I don't forget, I'll read you one of the gazillion parts that I think are quite good, especially if you're a parent or you're an auntie or you're a teacher or you have little people around you. Because that's what sort of helped me understand that growth mindset actually works. So growth mindset, what is it? It's really when people think and really believe on that you have the ability that the abilities can just be learned and developed through time, persistent, and hard work. So you can work through things and get better at them. That really is what it's all about. And it really creates a love for learning, a love for resilience. And that is why it's so important for our mindset. Because it's what sort of keeps you going if you really believe that you can, right? However, there are a lot of people out there, and we also fall in that category. We're not 100% growth mindset all the time. We can be aware of it, and that's what I'm trying to do, to make you aware of the differences so you can pull yourself back when you find yourself in a fixed mindset. But there's a lot of even cultures that really teach us to be very fixed mindset. And fixed mindset is really when you think that your abilities, more like your intelligence and your traits, that you're just born with them. That's it. You are born with them. So you can't really develop them. And it's sort of saying, my family was never good at basketball or maths or whatever it might be, so I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not good at it. And you really, truly believe in that. Hello, Belinda. How are you? Good morning. Lovely to see you. So if you actually think that you can't, today we're talking about growth mindset and fixed mindset. So if you really think that you can't develop these skills, then what happens? You're sort of stuck, right? So I want you to really, today I'm just going to break it down between when we might find ourselves or what we might be focusing on when we are in a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, okay? So let's start with what we focus on. When you are in a growth mindset, you're really focusing on performance, yeah? when you're in a fixed mindset, you're focusing on performance, on the outcome. You're really focusing on not looking bad, right? So whatever you do, I'm going to do this, and I want my colleagues, my boss, my parents, whoever it might be that you think is sort of watching you, that they're going to think, oh, I'm good, like I'm not stupid, I'm actually really good. So that is how you're coming in with this, right? So not really the best place to start, right? Because that's what you're focusing on. As for when you're in a growth mindset, you're actually just focusing on you're just improving. Every time you're going to improve, you know what? You're going to make mistakes and you're going to be okay with it. So every time you sort of think, now I learned something new. Next time I won't do it that way. Yeah. So it really sort of changes your perspective. Growth mindset looks forward. Fixed mindset looks back. Absolutely. Thank you, Kimon, for sharing that. Now, when we're faced with different things, like for example, if you're faced with a challenge, what's going to happen? If you're in a fixed mindset, you're going to avoid that challenge at all costs, right? You're going to be like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not even going there. You're not even giving yourself the opportunity to actually go there, right? As for in a growth mindset, you're going to be like, hell, I've got no idea if I can do it, but I'm going to give it a go. So you really embrace it and you go forward with it. Okay. Are you finding this interesting? Just give me 2 seconds because this phone is slipping and it's really driving me a little bit insane. I'm just going to look for something that can, I don't know if this will work, but okay. Yep, let's see. Let's give it that way. Okay, so I'm hoping it doesn't slip anymore because you guys, the phone will end up upside down. So are you finding this interesting? If you're finding this interesting, please let me know. Hello, Grant. Good morning. How are you feeling today from 1 to 10? We're talking about growth and fixed mindset. And I'm going to tell you a little story about how I found out that it really does work. So when you're faced with obstacles, what happens? Kai Faz, how are you? Oh, that's Kylie. How are you, Kylie? How are you? Thank you for dialing in. Lovely to see you this morning. Can you let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how you're feeling today and why you think you're feeling that way? And where you're dialing in from, actually. That would be really interesting. I know Kimon is from Melbourne. Belinda, I don't know where you're dialing in from. Lucas is from Medellin. Kylie, are you in... I can't remember. Where were you? Grant is in Brisbane. Kylie was it Toowoomba? I can't remember. Anyway, so let's continue. So we're talking about growth and fixed mindset, okay? And then I'm going to tell you a little story. So obstacles. When you're faced with obstacles, what happens? If you're in a fixed mindset, you are going to lose focus. You're just not even going to go there, yeah? As for when you're in a growth mindset, you're really going to persist. And that's something that I totally realized when we went through the process. And I'll tell you about it in a minute. Oh, Warwick. Yep, you're right. Kylie, sorry. I said Toowoomba, but you're in Warwick. Lovely, lovely to have you. Thank you. Thank you for liking my colors, Kylie. It's yellow. My 5-year-old is the one that dresses me every morning. So I'm realizing it's a good news so far that I fit into all my dresses. Some of them I haven't worn in a while, but she just goes through them and sort of picks what I wear today. Well, every morning. Anyway, so let's continue. So obstacles. So if you persist, so there's an obstacle that's thrown at you, and that happens to us all the time. Hello, coronavirus, obstacle, right? This is really making us think differently and change our way of thinking, right? So you need to sort of see which way you're going to go about it. Yeah. Are you going to focus on the bad? Are you going to focus on the positive? And are you going to move forward? The next one is effort. So some people don't like to put in the effort. They think, okay, I'm going to start getting healthy. I'm going to start exercising. And they exercise 1 day. They exercise 2 days. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not going to get the 6-pack that you want, if that's what you want, doing sit-ups 1 day. Or you're not going to get fit by running out, giving your runners a go and going out for 1, 5, 10K run once. It's really about that persistence, and it's going to be hard, and you not want to do it, and you'll go and you'll be huffing and puffing, or the abs will be hurting, and you're like, I don't want to do this. but it's persistent. Yeah. And then not giving up. It's about not giving up. Because then if not, then you're sort of thinking, oh, well, this is useless. I'm just going to stop at this, right? The other one is actually mistakes. So with a growth mindset, you're really embracing mistakes. Yeah. You're really learning from them and saying, what can I get out of this? And what other strategy can I try? With a fixed mindset, we're really, we're discouraged by them. You're like, oh, it's wrong. Okay, I give up. That's it. I'm not doing anymore. So really, I want you to think about the last time that you were faced with an obstacle, with a challenge, when you were asked to put in the effort. What did you think? Which side were you at? Because that's really what counts. Yeah. And if you find that you were in a fixed mindset, that's okay, because you now know that you can actually identify that and move towards being a growth mindset. Obviously, there's a massive quantum, like it's a spectrum. So you're not going to go from being totally fixed mindset to totally growth mindset overnight, because guess what? It is about growth mindset. You're going to go get there bit by bit. So Carol Dweck, this book that I'm telling you about, look, I absolutely love it. I have it in English. I have it in Spanish, like you name it. So if you're going to read any book, Jade was asking me about what books. This is one that I would highly recommend, because it's literally for parenting, for business, for school, for relationships. And unless you're living under a rock, you're in one of those circumstances, right? We all have either a relationship, or we have kids that are in school, or we are working, or have a business, own a business, whatever it might be, okay? So I really want you to think about the achievement. What happens is when you're in a growth mindset, it's amazing, because you actually achieve things you never thought you would achieve. You surprise yourself. So I want you to really think about the last time you did something and you were like, wow, I never thought I could, I don't know, read a book that fast, or I never thought I could do this, or I never thought, I don't know, Ando, he's the champion of all the what do you do at all the triathlons, even though he's had like hip replacement, knee replaced, like everything replaced. So it's just really thinking, you know, can you do it or not, and giving it a go, and training and working yourself to become better. So there's so many examples out there of so many people, really successful people, that have just developed. It's a muscle, really. The brain, remember, is a muscle like any other muscle in the body. If you want to get big biceps, what do? You go and do bicep curls, you know? Same with your brain. You need to start exercising your brain and really challenge it. And this is the way how you can do it. So I'm going to give you a little example of how I found out that growth mindset, or the power of growth mindset. So I'm so glad I came across this with young children, because, you know, as a parent, what do we want? Every single parent out there, I haven't met the first one, that doesn't want the best for their children. Yet we often, or very easily, can put them into a fixed mindset by what we say. And you know what? Maybe we were raised that way. And that's okay, because our parents were doing the best they could with what they had at that time, right? That information. And maybe they didn't know about growth mindset. So they, like a lot of parents, uncles, aunties, grandparents, they're all like, oh, you're so smart. You're so good. Oh, that's brilliant. You're going to be the next Picasso, or you're going to be whatever, right? So this is a true story. And this is what happened to us. And it's a story of my 7-year-old daughter. Well, actually, she's now 8. As you know, she turned 8 like 2 days ago. So this was back when she was 6 years old. She was maybe 6.5 at the time. And at that time, you might realize the name of this group is called Elevate Your Mindset. For those who don't know, it's called Elevate Your Mindset because I co-authored a book called Elevate Your Mindset. So it's actually co-authored with 10 other people. And then I got about 200 copies, I think, with my photo in it. But really, there's like 10 authors in it. Anyway, when that opportunity came to me, I never really thought about being an author ever. I never dreamt about it. I know my mom did. And my family, like my dad loves reading, my mom loves reading, my brother loves reading, my sister and I, not so much. I'll listen to books galore. I'll watch videos, TED Talks, interviews, podcasts. But the reading part, not so much. Only some like these ones that I really like. Anyway, so it wasn't really my dream. And then I was presented with the opportunity of being part of this book. And I said, why not? This is fantastic. Oh, great book, Kylie. Kylie actually bought it. Kylie, I hope you don't mind me telling them how I met you, but I work with a cricket academy, and Kylie's son is amazing. So they're in Warwick, so all our sessions are actually online. And through one of the sessions, Kylie, I don't know, I think you went and looked it up because I never mentioned the book. And then Kylie must have gone and looked into my website and then sort of rang me or texted me and said, can I buy a book off you? So yes, Kylie, thank you. I'm glad that you have read it. And that you recommended. I'm very, very grateful. I can actually talk to you guys. One of the days on the 27 days is I'm going to talk to you a little frame that I wrote. It's a happy frame because my chapter on that book is called Harnessing Your Happiness. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Today we're talking about growth mindset. So what happened? When I was writing that book, obviously my daughters, they were there, they could see it, I'd wake up early and do these, write a book, and then I'd send it and the publisher would bring it back and send it back, and then I'd talk to my husband about it. So at that point, I remember we were walking out of the gym because my girls often come to the gym with me in the morning before school drop off, and we were walking out and my eldest sort of said, so you're writing a book, Mom? So can't I write a book? And she was in year 1 at the time. And I was like, year 1, you're learning how to read and write. I think readers, you're still going through your readers. I've got no idea what level she was in. Let's go with 15 or 20. I think there's like 30. I don't know. So she was starting to do that, right? And then I was like, okay, I talk about growth mindset. I know what growth mindset is all about. This is my opportunity. And I turned around and I said, sure, but you have to start writing. Because she hadn't written a book. She hadn't written anything at that point. So I said, you got to start writing. And she said, okay, cool. So she did. So this is where, in any other circumstances, when we're tired, and I get it because, I'm telling you obviously the perfect story, but there's been plenty of times that it hasn't been so perfect because I'm not perfect like a lot of other parents out there. But at that point, something clicked within me, like this can be great. And this is where you can really test your theory. So she's sort of my guinea pig, and that's how it happened. Basically, that's how it happened. So off she went, and it was amazing because she then went off and started writing. Like she literally went through all my printing paper, like from the printer, she took it out and she just write, fold all the pieces of paper. She started writing. I think she wrote, I don't know how many she's written so far. Like we're up to like 40 something, but she was probably up to like 20 something. And it was about ballet and pirates and she doesn't even do ballet, by the way, and animals and dinosaurs and you name it. Whatever we would come across that day, that's what she would sort of write about. So that's when she actually said, Mom, I really like this one. I want to publish this one. And I was like, okay. And she went on to actually not only write, but now illustrate 4 different books, and I have them here. So it all started with this one, If I Were an Animal. We then had to, initially she did too many drawings. So the other part of it was that then she went on to actually say, well, can't I illustrate? At that point, I said, well, we'll have to get an illustrator because this is a kid's book. So it's a rhyming book with illustrations. And she said, well, Mom, can't I do the illustrations? Half of these paintings or all of the paintings that you see behind me, not this one today, but they're all my mom's. My mom is super creative. She can sew, she can knit, she can draw, she can paint, she can do ceramic, you name it. I'm not really the most No, I'm very creative. I just haven't gone that way that much. The times that I've done it, it hasn't been that bad. But I was like, Izzy, you're gonna have to if you're gonna do the illustrations, you're doing them. I'm not helping you. She already had the words written, so I'll show you her favorite one because it's in the farm one and it is quite funny. I'll show you sort of what the book looks like, but so she said, well, wait a minute, can't I be the illustrator? And I'm like, sure, because I told her that means that at the front of the page we need to have someone else's name, and that also means that we have to sort of share any earnings. I don't know what earnings we're gonna get. Hola Manuela, how are you? Where are you dialing in from? And hello Craig, how are you? Let me know where you're dialing in from. And Jen is saying, taught an adult with major fears to swim in 3 days when we had a team Olympics challenge at business school. Was magical to see their fear go and replaced with confidence in themselves. That's right, Jen? That is what happens when you get the power of or understanding of your growth mindset, because that's exactly how it happened to Izzy. Like literally, that's how it happened. I didn't really realize the power. Hello, Mandakini, how are you? I didn't realize the power of what I was saying at the time. I knew that I could send it either way. I could just turn around and say to her, you know what? You're learning how to read and write. Let's do this, let's revisit this when you're in high school or something like that. Normal. Or just say, what? Are you kidding me? Sometimes we're too tired and we're like, you're going to write a book? That's not going to happen, right? So I really want you to think about how we and what the words that we say can impact others. Because in this case, it was simply me sort of saying, okay, well, just give it a go. And she just persisted. There were a lot of tantrums, I have to say. Well, not a lot, but it did take a good, quite a good... Well, she had written all the words, and then she had to do all the drawings, and then I had to learn how to publish it. So it took like a very combined effort. But then I'm going to tell you something. The power of, and I give the girls little Post-its, the power of yet. So I'll tell you about the Post-its if you want later on. But literally, I can't do this yet. The power of yet is huge. Because if you don't know how to do something, and it's something that you have always wanted to do, or even have an interest for it, don't ever say, I can't do this. Because in your mind, that will automatically, let's say, imagine your mind with like little drawers, little pigeonholes. And when you say, I can't do it, that goes into that little pigeonhole of never ever will I do this. If you actually think, I can't do this yet, it goes like into another pigeonhole that says, well, maybe not now, but in future. So I'll tell you the power of yet now, how we learned the power of yet. And the power of yet was literally, I told you that she initially wrote these two. She did too many drawings for us to print one book, right? So she did about 30 plus drawings. And as you can see, and I opened in her favorite one because it's, if I were a cockatoo, I would do a stinky poo. How cool is that? If you like that, just send kisses or whatever, thumbs ups, because I just think it's gold. So anyway, when we did this, she did about 37 drawings or 30 whatever. So because one is a bubble and one is a drawing, that meant that it's double, right? So this was going to be a book that was going to be about 80 pages, because with the front page and then the dedication and then the other one, all that, you're up to 80 pages. And these aren't necessarily cheap to print because there's a lot of color, right? If it was just a book like this one, which is just black and white, that one's a lot cheaper. So the publisher actually said to me, you can't do that. The books, and it's a kid's book, it's got to be tops about 30 something pages. And I was like, she's done 30 drawings. I don't have the heart to say that you can't do this. So what we did, that's how we then split it. And then the series, thank you for all the love hearts and the thumbs up. It means that you like it and that we are engaging. So it really means a lot. So what happened then, and I'm going to tell you the power of yet, that when we did these two, we came up with if I were an animal on a farm, and then if I were an animal in the ocean, in the zoo. However, she had already done about 5 animals that were ocean animals. So she had done the whale, like the drawing and the little rhyme for the whale, the fish, the dolphin, and I can't remember which other one. So that meant that this one was sort of half done, because what she needed was like 15 animals. Oh no, that's the jungle. Here, the ocean one. So that meant that she already had some of these already done, right? The drawings, the turtle. If I were a turtle, I would jump a hurdle. So she already had that one, and I had to pull it out because, I wasn't going to put it in a farm or a zoo. So what happened? We launched these 2 books in April on her birthday last year. Yeah, she turned 7 last year. So she said, she created a goal. I want to be an author by the age of 7, an author and illustrator by the age of 7. Okay. And I'm like, okay, now you know that they hear and listen to everything you say. So I'm like, great. That meant that everything had to be done. We had to learn how to publish it, everything within that time frame. So we did. So then her birthday party was literally the launch of the book with her little friends from school. But she already had 5 of these paintings. So what happened was, with the power of yet, was that we just let it go. She did those 2. I thought, okay, this is it. This is done. She did mention maybe I'll write some more. And I said, sure, not a problem. And then it was on the holidays around September that we were listening to a podcast. It's called the Big Life Kids Podcast. And it's all about growth mindset. Highly recommended. Big Life Journal. If you Google it, they're fantastic with growth mindset stuff. So we were listening to a podcast, and the podcast at the end of it, and it's for kids, it said, name 3 things that you haven't done yet. So I paused it and I asked her, I said, Izzy, what are 3 things you haven't done yet? Boom, straight away, she's just like, I haven't written my other 2 books, Mum. And I'm like, oh, I was actually driving, and I was like, okay, sure. Because, I never even knew they were in the car, on the cards. We'd spoken about them, we'd mentioned them, but that was it. From April to September, no, we didn't really talk about it. Around 2 weeks after, boom, she already knew what she needed to do. So she started writing. So first she would write them. She actually would take my phone, and under notes, she would come up with the rhyme. If I were a starfish, I would have a lovely dish, for example. So she would write that. And then it was during those holidays that she just spent literally a day doing all the drawings. She's just very, very committed. So what happened? The power of yet. Because of that podcast and because of that power of yet, boom, out came 2 more books. And because she already knew what she had to do, and I already knew what I had to do, these 2 books didn't take that long, right? She finished like the 2 books like in a couple of weeks, and she's like, here you go, Mom, you do your bit. And I'm like, sure, why not? Because I have nothing else to do. But I wanted to obviously support her with that. So all this is just really to share with you a story which I find, and a lot of people find, quite inspiring, simply because we don't know when we're going to put people in a fixed mindset. Yeah, this all started from one concept, from me really learning about growth and fixed mindset, from me really learning from Carol Dweck, because she's such an amazing psychologist from the University of Stanford. And through all her research and through everything that she has done, this is, and literally, I think this is like, I'm going to read you the one sentence. Well, there's gazillions, I have like half the book is underlined, but I'm going to just read you one that sort of really stuck with me with this whole book story. So it says, if parents want to give their children a gift, the best thing they can do is to teach their children to love challenges. Remember, we spoke about challenging, liking challenges and embracing challenges. Be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, seek new strategies, and keep on learning. That way, their children don't have to be slaves to praise. they will have a lifelong way to build and repair their own confidence. So nowadays, we are often struggling with a lot of people that need that self-love, that need that praise, that need that whole, that's great, that's really good. But what happens when we say you're so smart, or you're so beautiful, you're so pretty? They're thinking that for them to be good, they have to be pretty or smart. So another way is just changing your language. Of course, we want to praise them, but praise them through effort. So really say to them that I love how much effort you put into that, right? Because what happens, thank you for the thumbs up. I hope you're finding this interesting. I'm not telling you the story just to boost and to say, wow, super wow. It's really because I find that for me, this is how I really was able to confirm that growth mindset was true with my 7-year-old. Now she has 4 books that they'll be there. They're in Amazon forever and ever. Right? And it's simply because I learned this, and because I thought, I'm not going to put her in a fixed mindset. I'm going to put her in a growth mindset. So I really want you to think about next time you, and this obviously doesn't relate only to kids. I'm telling you the story because that's, for me, it was with my child, but this relates to anyone, to an adult. It could be with your elderly parents as well. They're never going to change. I'm one of those. But still, we can put ourselves, remember the circle of influence that we spoke about. I can't control others. I can't control people, situations, or comments that come from outside of me. So I need to be proactive, and I think about what I can do to change my mind and put it into a growth mindset. So I'm hoping you're finding this interesting. I'm quickly going to go through the comments. Hello, Mandakini. Jennifer says, team effort, so brilliant and creative. Thank you, Jen. Been meaning to buy a collection for the family. Amazon, drop the can't. And I do say yet with my book, which I worked on today. Oh, congratulations, you're writing a book. Fantastic. Mandakini is sharing with us. It is an outstanding story. Thank you so much. That really shows the vibration you live in and how you are raising your girls. Well done. Very inspiring. Thank you. But I'm not the only one. All I am is sharing what I've learned, so others can do the same. And then absolutely, we can all raise our kids, our nephews, our nieces, if we're teachers. Kylie's a teacher. Kylie, such a great message. Thank you for sharing. And Kimon, this is so insightful. Thank you, Patty. I am so glad that I hope you're finding value out of this. Today is Sunday, so I know we've gone a little bit longer. So really remember the power of growth mindset. I really can't highlight it. I think that deep inside we sort of all know about it, but I think that for me it was more when you're able to really put a name to it, it just gives it so much more significance, right? It just, you get it. You're like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, it's got a name. Oh my God, there's a whole theory about it. Oh, there's studies around it. Because I'll tell you one of the stories that, gosh, Carol Dweck did millions and millions of studies with CEOs, with kids. But this one in particular, which is one of the ones that really struck a chord with me, was that she would put, let's say, an adult, a teacher, a psychologist, whatever, and would give a kid a puzzle. Yeah. So the puzzle, it was quite an easy puzzle. Really, anybody could do it. So they would do the puzzle. And then what happens? At the end of it, the adult that was there would be like, wow, you're so smart. That's brilliant. That's awesome. Right? Do you want to try a harder one? And they'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So what was that comment doing? It was actually putting that child in a fixed mindset. She thinks I'm brilliant. She thinks, or he thinks I'm brilliant. He thinks I'm great, very smart. What happens if I take on the other one, the other puzzle, and it's harder and I can't do it? She's going to think that I'm dumb. So no, I'd rather not go there. Let's just finish with this one. And she's going to think, or he's going to think that I'm smart. Right? So that's really the language and self-dialogue, the inner chatter that's happening within that child. So we need to sort of read between the lines. And in that book, she gives sort of some examples of what we say, how that is translated. So another kid comes in, the adult, the psychologist, the teacher, whatever, gives them the puzzle. They work out the puzzle because it's not a hard puzzle, and says, oh my goodness, I love how you took the time to do that. I love how you put in the effort. That's brilliant. Do you want another one? And they're like, oh, why not? You know, all I have to do is I can take my time, I can put in the effort, and then I'm going to succeed. So they really see that as I'm just going to be improving, not I need to look smart. Remember when we first started talking about that difference of what you're focusing on? So when you focus on looking smart or the outcome or the performance that you want to come out the other end, you're in a fixed mindset. So if you're ever in there, we're all in there at times. I talk about this, I know about this, I've proven this, and yet I'm still in a fixed mindset at times. So I also need to step up, and we all do, because it's when you're comfortable and with topics that you're comfortable, or things like if you've been in a job forever or in a relationships forever, you just get comfortable and you just lower, you just don't sharpen your soul, I guess. And then that's when we very easily can fall into that fixed mindset, opposed to the growth mindset when we're then focusing on just the process. You're just wanting to learn and wanting to improve every time. Okay, so people like Oprah Winfrey, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, the guy from Hershey's there's so many stories. I always forget the author of Harry Potter, R.W. Rowling. No, what was her name? Anyway, her story is amazing. Those are true stories about really that growth mindset and true successful people. I'm just going to quickly read through these comments, and then I'm going to let you go for the morning. So Kylie is saying such a great message. Thank you. Kimon, thank you very much. This is so insightful. Jen, so relatable and encouraging. This has been the most rewarding session for me. Growth mindset. I am so glad. And that's why I kept it for a Sunday, like a longer session. And then you can really sort of think about it. Mandakini, great distinction. Kimon, J.K. Rowling, I knew it. Amanda Keeney, J.K. Rowling, Jen, J.K. Rowling. Okay, thank you. Everybody knew, except I don't even know what I said. I know I did say Rowling. I can't remember what I actually said. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I'll be on tomorrow again, 9 a.m. Don't know what I'll be wearing. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have a painting that can actually match in the background. So far I have. So anyway, I'll see you then. Have a great day. I think we've gone a little bit longer today. Thank you for all your thumbs up. Thank you for all your love hearts. It means a lot. And please let me know. I would, I guess the only way I can really find out from you guys if you're finding this interesting is if you're watching the replay, please, 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 either a thumbs up or a love heart or whatever. So I know that you've seen it. I can see that there's like some videos the other day. My husband was like, oh my God, this video is like seen by 148 or whatever number. And I'm like, really? Oh, I have no idea. I've got no idea. I only have 10 people live. So I just think 10 people watch it. I don't actually know who watches the replay. So if you do, I would really, really appreciate if you just either comment, hi, great to see you, or a thumbs up, then I know. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ando. Lovely to see you. Thanks, Jen. Perfect. Also invite anyone that you think would benefit from this sort of information, right? This is gold. I'm giving you everything. I'm sharing, obviously, with my clients. Here I'm just sort of touching on, the surface and giving you sort of some of the terminology. With clients, I go deeper. As you can see, Kylie has sat through my sessions with her son, so she can hear how we go deeper, because then we really get it out of that individual. So that's really the difference. So I'm really giving you a lot, and I hope that you're taking it that way. Kylie, thank you. Patty, loved it. Enjoy your Sunday. Absolutely, you too. Thank you for joining. I'm glad that that we got through. Carol Dweck has some videos online. She has heaps of videos. I do have to say, her voice is not the most, I don't find it the most nice to listen to, but she is amazing in the work that she does. But she's got heaps of videos there for you to watch. Thank you from Belinda. Belinda, I never really knew where you were dialing in. If you can let me know. And thanks, Patty. Growth mindset is so important from Janine. Oh, hello, Janine. I didn't even see you. You always sort of sneak in, actually. I love this book too. Well, I seriously have it in every shape and form. I even have the Cliff Notes in Spanish. And that was more for the terminology part, for when I do the talks in Spanish about this. Anyway, big kisses. Take care and have a lovely Sunday. Bye-bye. See you. Bye.